Welcome to week 2 of the Senior Professional Bootcamp Challenge. I'm Joshua from RICS, and let me say thank you to everyone who has been personally messaging me and also letting me know about the progress so far. Look, I really do understand, and yes, it happens to everyone. Getting motivation and maintaining motivation to start writing or trying to find the time is going to be the biggest challenge. That's why motivation is great as a starting point, but it isn't as powerful as the simple act of taking action and just doing it with a plan in place. As a glass of a single drop of water might seem like nothing, but as more and more drops accumulate, it will eventually fill up that glass. It's sort of like how writing small sections of your 200 to 300 words of your case study will ultimately produce 3 completed case studies for your senior professional assessment. 300 words. What is that? One or few emails that you sent today? 10 to 20 minutes of your time? So manage this like a project. Plan it out, and if you haven't already done so, schedule it in your work and personal calendars. 30 minutes of RICS time every day. I know some days other priorities will override it, but this and more time you see it will subconsciously implant in your brain, and you'll be more inclined to committing and doing it. Today's action items, which I will explain, is going to be the basis and framework or blueprint for your case studies. I've spoken to many SPA candidates in the past who have attempted to start but have got stuck. And the main reasons was no plan, no mapping, no direction, or not knowing what is expected. Now, in this video, I wanted you to really understand, and I will refresh on a few things that I have said in the previous videos, but knowing what needed to be done in the end can ultimately steer you in the right and focused direction to complete. The Senior Professional Application Guide does have everything you need to know, and it tells you exactly what to write, but it is scattered throughout the guide to show RICS the due care that you take as a professional and the interpretation of the information at hand. So I will summarize a few things from the candidate guide or the application guide, but I need you to go back and read and understand and interpret the information yourself to see best fit for your projects and experience. Plus, also ensuring that the declared experience that you will be writing about towards the pathway and competencies and the scope of work is truthful, accurate, and real. And while yes, you will be assessed against your senior experience, this is a holistic assessment where the weighting of the assessment can be balanced out by a clear and concise submission that you smartly articulate your experience towards. In the scope of writing, RICS have defined 3 levels of writing, and as a senior professional, you are only required to write 2 levels of writing within your case studies. The level you will be writing is classified as level 2 and level 3, where the level 2 is about what you are doing, what you have done, what you did, and the processes that you have followed. And level 3 is that sound, reasoned advice that you have given to your clients, your staff, your employer, and team. Those pieces of information and advice and recommendations that you've developed through your years of experience towards those skills and competencies. So please take note and listen carefully, as there will be some I didn't know moments that you will want to include in your submission that you may have missed. So in the submission, we should see what you did and the advice, along with your senior profile, management professionalism, and other characteristics to set the scene for the case studies where your counselor, the assessors, well, anyone in fact, could read it and see you actually have that extensive experience and you have that knowledge towards that chosen pathway. So when you are drafting, please just make sure there is no word limits here. Forget about your grammar. Forget about the time. Forget about professional writing and the big words to reduce your word count right now, because you want to be writing everything and anything that you should feel needs to be talked about, as you want to have everything in your case study, and then later on we will refine. And you can then prioritize the best points and statements that will really give credit to your amazing ability. So in this first draft, if it's 2,000 words, great, fine. And we'll be able to refine in the future to get to the maximum length of 1,500 words. But if you do find that your first draft is about 1,000 words or 1,200, this could mean a few things. You haven't included enough competencies. This is why I recommend 5 to 7. Or you haven't included enough detail, enough references, guidance notes, standards, or explanation behind the issues or the projects, the processes you used, the delivery or the outcome. You get what I mean. So to ensure that we don't get under in the first draft, I want you to have a high-level view about what else can be added to the layout, so you can consider these aspects as well. The case study template will give you direction in how to logically set it out, but it's also on page 9 of your application guide. And when you're exploring and writing, remember RICS wants to see in regards to the projects that you have selected that you have included the following: a brief overview of the key issues, an account of your role or personal involvement, an outline of some of the problems faced and the experience you have to use to resolve these problems, a note of outcome and successful delivery with emphasis on the role that you played. Now, these are actually the headings as well within the case study template, and underneath these headings, this is where you're going to be adding all the information. Now, since these are headings, you will need to also include more information. These are just basic headings, and you will find obviously these additional pieces of information on pages 9, 10, and 11 of your application guide, and it's all written there. But let me summarize. You should in each case study include and show the key issues, personal involvement, problems faced, and outcome. Each case study must be on a defined project. Now, this actually means that it can't be on multiple projects in one case study to actually show that range of experience. You should also be able to show where you have played a leading role in terms of strategy, management, decision making, and problem solving, and client relationship management. And on a side note, these are also going to be some great keywords that you might want to incorporate within your case study to highlight these actions. All case studies should provide evidence of your senior profile. So why are you the leader? Why have you been given that responsibility? As well as relevance of your experience towards the pathway, those mandatory competencies, ethics, rules, conduct, and professionalism. So I want you to keep these points as additional views of what you should consider to write about in your draft submission. This is what I want you to do for this video's action items today. I want you to start first listing shorthand or dot points about the project type, the client or project name, the role or position that you've had during this time, the objectives, deliverables, what you did, the big key issues, and notable achievements and wins, big or small, keywords to also describe the project, then adding the competencies relevant to your pathway to capture the above. Now, for case studies 2 and 3, you need at least one of those competencies to be taken to level 3. So please put that in brackets saying this is the level 3 competency. But also in case study 1, you're welcome to show if you've given any advice and take it to a level 3. And to note, reviewing your pathway guide of example activities is going to give you great context. And finally, any professional standards, guidance notes, or technical matters or understanding that you had to apply. Now, to complete this week's exercise or today's exercise, please download your case study template, pathway guide, have your project briefs, reports, or submissions or presentations that you had on those projects, my senior professional worksheet with suggested titles, and most importantly, about 30 to 60 minutes of alone time with no distractions to actually get started. And when you've completed this step, in the next video, we will discuss the competencies, the structure, and I'll also give you some recommended examples and recommendations on the keywords and inclusions that you can also be considering. But happy actioning, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.